We are getting down to the final stages of celebrating our 66th emancipation celebrations here in the British Virgin Islands. Now, a lot of things have looked different this time around, obviously with the pandemic that is COVID-19, but one thing that remains the same is our Queen, Miss BVI, Miss Bria Smith. Now, she joins us to talk all things Queen, all things her year, and looking forward to the future. All this and more after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 Media. Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works. Viewers, welcome back. Bria, welcome to 284 Media. Thank you so much for taking this opportunity to sit with us this morning.
Thank you for having me, Ron.
Now, as I mentioned in my intro, a lot of things are different. They look different, and that is, of course, with the global pandemic that is COVID-19. Our 66th emancipation celebrations here in the British Virgin Islands are in the final stages. The last event is going to be tomorrow, with today obviously being the highly anticipated food fair. Now, one of the things that stays the same is our very talented queen, which happens to be yourself. Now, before we get into the fact that you're going to be reigning for an additional year, just walk me through a little bit. What has it been like so far being the Miss BVI?
Wow, first can I just say that I feel very lonely over here?
Social distancing, I know how it is, that's honest.
Yeah. I first have to say being Miss British Virgin Islands has been a truly humbling experience. You really learn things about yourself that you had no idea, that you think you would have known, and even here at 27 years old, I'm still learning as I go. And Miss BVI has given me the opportunity to learn things about myself that I didn't know I had in me.
If you may go into detail, what are some of those things that you perhaps learned?
Well, for instance, having to go to Miss Universe, I would have to say that that really tested just how well I knew myself and just how well I loved myself. You know, we speak about self-love a lot, but when it comes to having to actually go through it, putting it to the test, I think that's one of the biggest things I had to go through, and understanding that I am who I am and I love who I am regardless of what.
Most definitely. Now, as we continue, you're going to be reigning for an additional year, but talk to me about some of the appearances and experiences that you had during your first year, 2019. You just mentioned one of them being Miss Universe. Go into detail a little bit about some of the stuff that you were able to accomplish or places you've been able to travel throughout your first year.
Okay, well, for my first year, I did a lot of traveling in preparation for Miss Universe. In addition to that, building connections and networking with persons. So we traveled to Jamaica at the Miss Universe Jamaica pageant, and that's where I met Iana Garcia Tickle, and in Jamaica, that's where we were able to meet and get to converse and build a relationship before we even went to Miss Universe. We also was able to get my evening gowns. So I made connections with Uzuri International because they were the persons that made that beautiful yellow dress that I wore during the Miss Universe pageant. I also traveled to the U.S. Virgin Islands in part with their festival. In addition, I did go across the waters to go to their pageant, but I was unable to actually go to the actual event that day. But I did get to meet some of the contestants before their pageant during the day. I'm trying to think of other places that I traveled to.
Well, it's quite a extensive list of traveling that you did.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, you also did a lot locally with local organizations. Can you speak to that?
Yes. One of the greatest collabs that I made this year had to have been, or last year, had to have been with Reading Room VI, where we did these outdoor libraries. We're still working on them as we go. That was to instill literacy in the Virgin Islands and to encourage more reading in schools and in the communities. Just recently, I collaborated with a lip gloss company Uncensored Beauty Cosmetics, which I'm wearing on my lips right now.
All right.
I was able to launch my own line, which would have been Aurora. under the Crown collection that they had. I'm also doing a lot of different collaborations with different businesses that's coming up, and we're going to get to that because with my second reign, there were some things that I was trying to do with my first reign that did not come to fruition due to COVID. So there's so many more collaborations coming, and I just can't wait to roll them out for everyone.
Great stuff. Now, you spoke a little bit earlier about self-love and beauty and really getting to a place where you were able to see yourself in a different light. I want to speak to that because I'll be honest with you, Bria. I don't usually enjoy the idea of pageantry or queens, and my colleagues, both Jovan and Kyla, know that. However, that perhaps is based on a very superficial presentation that may be presented through pageantry, but you spoke very honestly just now about perhaps trying to change that narrative. Can you speak to that and speak to the idea of young women like yourself being extremely comfortable in their skin in that process?
Okay, absolutely. So I'm just going to give a quick background into why I made that comment that I made.
Yes.
Because with Miss Universe and with international pageants come a lot of international fans. And in preparing for Miss Universe and posting, because you have to be very social and get your social media and your likes and viewership up there so that you can be recognized. And in doing that, you are literally putting yourself out there for lots to be said, good and bad.
Of course.
And I know in one of my interviews that I had prior to, I wonder if it was before I was crowned or immediately after I was crowned, I spoke to the fact that I do suffer from weight fluctuation.
Okay.
Some persons may notice that I have gained a few pounds since Miss Universe. And that was one of my issues in preparing for Miss Universe, having to try and stick to that one weight throughout. And there were persons who commented on some of the things that we posted with regards to my weight, with regards to the gap with my teeth. There were just so many different levels of criticism that sometimes you know you worked on things before and you worked yourself up to be able to prepare for these things. And then when it's literally slapped in your face and you're reminded of these things, you have to kind of question, am I really okay with this?
Wow.
And you know, you had to really think about, I am okay with this. And I think that came about with my gap. I don't know if persons follow my Facebook, but I spoke about it. Someone commented about having a new iPhone but not having enough money to fill the gap in my teeth. Those are the type of comments that come your way when you're actually going to these international pageants. And I know if I was able to have some of the ladies that went to Miss Universe with me talk about some of the things that they went through on their social media in their comments, it would really, really tear a lot of persons apart. So when I speak about self-love and when I speak about pageantry, and a lot of persons often say they join a pageant to build their self-confidence, I say this, a lot of times, if your confidence is not already somewhat built, pageantry can literally break it down.
Very powerful.
Because it's hard to build something when you're putting yourself on a platform to be ripped apart. So you have to have some level of foundation to fall back on when these things occur. So I understand what you mean, because there is a level of expectations as a pageant holder, as a title holder, as a pageant girl. There are things as expected of you, but what I have to say is when I went to Miss Universe, they were not as strict as most persons would say about the whole idea of beauty. We did a lot of interviews, we did a lot of talking, and they were more focused on trying to find out our story and getting our story out there. So I have to say that was one of the best things about Miss Universe, because they were more interested in what was here than what was here.
Interested in you as a person. Wonderful. Thank you so much for your very candid response and honesty in that. Now, with all that you've accomplished in 2019 to 2020, we're looking ahead for another reign of 2020 to 2021. Tell us about some of your plans and visions, some that you may not have accomplished that you want to revisit.
Okay, so I don't want to give out too much, because some of them I really want to surprise the community with, and there are some that I'm still in conversations with, so they're not completely confirmed as yet. But what I do want to mention is the song "Tell Me Where You're Going," the song that I sung for my promo. That song has made a lot of rounds and a lot of people keep reaching out to me about it. And I was actually able to personally meet the person that wrote it, which was Martino Mark.
Wow.
Martino, and we was able to talk about it. And I had this idea to be able to get the song out there more, not just here in the BVI, but regionally, because I think a lot of persons in the region can relate to the song. It may not be their specific history,
Okay.
but the story it tells is so important. So I'm actually going to be teaming up with Martino in pushing forward the song, working with it together. We're going to actually re-record it and do
Awesome.
it together and do a music video that actually highlights the stories that's been told inside of the song. In addition to that, before COVID shut down the entire island, there was going to be a tea and tiara type of event that I was going to have with the younger ladies, because when I went to read to some of the schools, the reaction I got from the young girls are really sweet. You know, they actually asked me questions. They came out and just started to hug me, and I really feel like I have a really great connection with little girls, and I think a lot of times that's where you have to start. You have to start with them from that age and build up. So I had my focus to work on younger girls, talk to them, get to know where they are, and try and build a relationship with them so that they can feel, you know, better about themselves from a young age, you know. So that's one of the other things I was planning to do. I do intend to also work alongside different recycling and environmental groups and community committees. So there's lots to be done. I'm not just focusing on one thing, because when I speak about cultural and historical preservation, it includes everything. It includes who we are as Virgin Islanders, how we keep our place, how we present ourselves. It's a whole package.
Indeed.
So it's going to be a lot to be done, and I'm really just looking forward to collaborating with organizations and businesses and anyone who's willing to work with me.
Wonderful. Now, you mentioned your platform, which you stated was?
Cultural and historical preservation.
Now, that was for 2019 to 20. Are you changing your platform, or does it remain the same?
It remains the same because, as I mentioned, it's a pretty broad platform, and I intend to expand on it even more and touch on every aspect of our preservation.
Okay. Now, we are in the final stages of celebrating our Emancipation Celebration. What encouragement would you give to Virgin Islanders and residents as it pertains to your platform specifically around this time? Obviously, we were not able to revel and fet like we're accustomed to, and some persons might feel as though a bit neglected that they were not able to do that. But what does that mean to you when you speak of your platform and in the midst of COVID-19, where we were limited in our celebrations? What encouragement would you give to Virgin Islanders and residents who may have felt like our history was somewhat thrown away because we were not able to do as we are accustomed to?
Well, I'll say this. I did take part in a few of the festivities that were held during this season, and I must say that the history was actually there, more there than in previous years, to be honest. I was over in Long Look, and the stories that were told, the linkage, the family linkage that was explained, and the things that was said and displayed in Long Look, and we all know Long Look is one of our most cultural villages in the Virgin Islands.
Yes.
If you went to that event, or if you even watched it live, you would truly understand what I mean when I say that our history was on display at that event, more so than I have seen in years gone by. What we have to really understand is that our Emancipation Festival is not just about the revel and the rave. It's about knowing where we came from to know where we're going to go. Especially in this time where we're looking at the constitutional review, we really have to understand who we were understand the people that the change makers, the persons who were really out there fighting for us, understand and remember what they were fighting for, so that when we actually do this constitution and we try to move forward, we go in a path that is not completely different from what our ancestors were trying to do for us then. So during this season, I really want persons to really use it as a time of introspection.
Okay.
Take it as a time to ask questions, reach out to our older heads. They are the ones that truly hold the knowledge and understanding of being a Virgin Islander. So we really need to take this time to do the research, really do the research, find out why we even celebrate Emancipation Festival, understand that August 1st and in 1840, was it 18? I'm not good in maths.
Okay, that's fine.
But the year in which we were emancipated, understand that not the year that we were actually emancipated from slavery per se. You know, there's a different time in 1848. So you have to really, really, really take the time out
Decipher and understand the history.
you have to really understand it, because the information that's out there, there's a lot of it that's misconstrued.
Understood.
And you really have to talk to persons who really know. So take
Well
this
said.
time out to do that.
Awesome. Now, as we close, Bria, what are you most proud of not only being the queen, but ultimately the face of the BVI and ultimately our ambassador? What are you most proud of being a BVI lander?
What am I most proud of being a BVI
Yes.
lander, or just being Miss BVI?
Being a BVI lander first.
Okay, what am I most... You know, we throw around the word resilient a lot, but I have to say I'm most proud for being resilient. You know, we have been through a lot and we continue to go through a lot. And the BVI continues to reign supreme. We continue to fight. We continue to just keep going. And that's the spirit of a Virgin Islander. And I think we all have that blood running through us, you know, and that's one of the things that I'm so proud to have within me, that resilient blood of a Virgin Islander.
Wonderful. Bria, thank you so much for taking the time out this morning to come and sit with us. And we here at 284 Media continue to wish you the very best in all your endeavors. And of course, your additional year as our queen and representative. We wish you a safe and enjoyable second reign as you continue to do your part in preserving our history and heritage through your platform, as well along with the VI Festival and Fairs Committee. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Viewers, that's all the time we have today. I will see you at 6 p.m. today. Have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.